Later on Night Watch, Boris Yeltsin's Russian landslide. What does it mean to the Kremlin and the world? That story and more on CBS News Night Watch.
This reporter knows money is the root of evil.
I'm tired of religion being for sale.
He's suspicious of demagogues seeking power.
What do you think about religion going prime time?
And you can bet your soul he's going to investigate this murder.
Welcome to Judgment Day, baby.
Kevin Dobson, Blythe Denner, Money, Power, and Murder, Saturday.
This is CBS.
You're watching Indiana's own Wish TV, Channel 8.
You're watching Indiana's only 24-hour television news service, closed caption for the hearing impaired. Now, Mike Ahern, Debbie Knox, weather with Cliff Nicholson, and the sports team of Fred Kalil and Mark Patrick. Live from Wish TV, this is 24-hour News 8.
Good evening. There is significant progress to report tonight in efforts to bring the 1991 session of the Indiana General Assembly to an end.
Lawmakers in the Indiana House of Representatives voted late tonight on a budget and redistricting plan. A vote could come soon in the Senate. Let's go live now to the Statehouse. News 8's Jim Shelley here to tell us how the House vote went and what might come yet tonight.
Ken, 5.5 months of bitter partisan struggle appears to be racing toward a conclusion at this moment. A little more than an hour ago, the Indiana House passed a combined budget and redistricting bill by a vote of 53 to 43. It's a Democratic plan that got through only because 4 Republicans voted for it. Those Republicans went against a caucus position to vote against the bill. The first indication that passage was certain came when Republican Dan Steffen announced his intention to hit a green light. Here's the way Steffen made his argument.
I'm going to vote for the budget. I'm not voting with the Democrats tonight. I'm voting for the people of the state and what I think's best for them.
Debate has just begun in the Republican-controlled state Senate, and there are indications that the bill will pass there. This is a Democratic budget plan, but it contains in it the Republican redistricting plan for the Senate, so Republicans there have a reason to vote for it. The governor has been lobbying Democrats in the Senate very hard this evening. The governor, of course, has said that he will sign this bill. If the bill passes the Senate, this second special session of the legislature will be over. Ken and Debbie.
And I know it's difficult to gauge right now, but this could be a very long night, I sense, Jim.
Well, the debate in the House took a little more than an hour. The debate in the Senate could be just as long, but I expect that this will be all over before midnight. If the bill doesn't pass, of course, everything is set back, and who knows what happens next. But there's a lot of optimism.
Okay, Jim Shell reporting live from the State House. Thank you. Well, it's not only the legislators burning the midnight oil at the State House these long days. As Liz Daly found out tonight, state senators and representatives strongly rely on a dedicated staff.
What most people don't know is that the lights in the State House often burn many hours after the legislators have left. That's because the people behind the scenes desperately need them.
We've been able to improve funding for education, and I think that's...
If it weren't for the clerical staff and others who maintain the legislative operations, the special session would likely be even longer.
There's paperwork that has to be done, but then there are long periods like this when we just sit and wait for them to come in.
A long session, a long day is exasperating.
Betty Massario and her staff handle the important proposals and bills for the House. They're required to stay later than the representatives to make sure the next day's business is in order.
We have to get the bills that go across the desk. We have to get the messages to the Senate so that the Senate is aware of what the House has done. We have to wait until the printer is here to pick up the bill so that they may overnight be printed and ready for action the next day.
State Senate.
Joyce Christmas has been in the thick of behind-the-scenes State House work for 10 years. This session has been particularly trying as she tries to calm irate constituents.
I think if they sometimes would come down here and get a better understanding, then they'll be a little more enlightened, and I don't think their attitudes would be like they are now. They're pretty angry.
All claim their jobs would be a lot more difficult if they did not enjoy the work. The extra hours just come with the territory. At the State House, Liz Daly, Wish TV, News 8.
By the way, those workers behind the scenes are not paid overtime for the extra hours they put in. They're given comp time instead. Ken?
Debbie, some state lawmakers are expressing concern about a plan by Indiana University that could make the cost of attending the Bloomington campus much higher next fall. Currently, students at IU in Bloomington pay only for the credit hours they take. Next Wednesday, IU's board of directors is expected to consider switching to a flat fee. That could mean a 40% increase in some students' tuition. Thousands of students have signed petitions protesting that proposal. Full-time students at Purdue already pay a flat fee for tuition.
We have a lot more news on the way right now, though. Let's check in with meteorologist Cliff Nicholson for Friday's first weather. Cliff?
Certainly was another warm day today. The high yesterday in Indianapolis was 88. The high today, 88 degrees. Notice we had some thunder showers crop up in portions of the southwestern section of the state, just a couple of sprinkles in Indy. Beyond that, most of the weather has been back to the west. The first forecast for this evening, well, partly cloudy skies outside and warm tonight with temperatures hovering in the 70s. And then by the time you get up tomorrow morning, sunny skies, mild temperatures in the upper 60s. Some rain in the forecast. I'll tell you about it in a few minutes.
Thank you, Cliff. Well, the weather took a deadly turn at the U.S. Open in Minnesota today. One person is dead, 5 others injured after lightning struck at the golf tournament in Chaska. The lightning struck near the 11th tee at the Hazeltine National Golf Course. A spokeswoman at St. Francis Hospital in Chaska says one of the victims died of heart failure. A tournament official says all 6 of the spectators were standing under the same tree when the lightning hit. Meanwhile, tragedy struck in Los Angeles when 3 people were killed in a police helicopter crash. Authorities say the helicopter was responding to a shooting when the officer piloting the aircraft reported mechanical problems. Witnesses say the helicopter just missed an elementary school, smashed into the ground on the other side of the street, and then went up in a fireball. A nearby building and a car also caught fire. Both officers and the helicopter and one person on the ground were killed in that crash. Investigators still are not sure what caused it.
Tonight, the White House says Boris Yeltsin will meet with President Bush next week following his triumph as the first popularly elected president of the Russian Republic. Yeltsin won 60% of the vote, and his allies were elected mayors of Moscow and Leningrad, which voters decided to rename St. Petersburg. Observers say Yeltsin's election shows the power anti-communists have now that they've united. Still to come tonight on your 24-hour news service, Indianapolis police look for the person who shot one of their comrades today.
And researchers have found what could be another health benefit of taking aspirin.
The suspect wanted in the shooting of a Marion County Sheriff's deputy is returned to Indianapolis. I'm Letitia Mile. We'll have that story coming up on News 8.
Hop into Amoco and take the Silver One tank test. Fill up with 1 tank full of Amoco Silver. It'll clean up the filthiest fuel injectors. Not 5 tankfuls. Not 3 tankfuls. New and improved Amoco Silver with even more cleaning power does it in just 1 tankful. Or your money back. So take the Silver One tank test and bring back the exhilaration. Bring back the power.
The big one is here at Value City Furniture. Our stores are jammed to capacity, so we put up the tents and moved our entire inventory into our parking lots at record-breaking sale prices. Special purchases, discontinued merchandise, factory buyout, 3-piece living room, $498, 4-piece bedroom, $298, Ninja Turtle bed, $98, 3-piece dinette, $49, save 50, 60, even 70% off. It all must be sold. Bring your truck or trailer. You must come prepared to buy. It's a once-a-year event, the gigantic parking lot sale at Value City Furniture.
At other burger places, before you even get there, they got a burger waiting on you. But at Steak and Shake,
I'll be waiting on you. These are our 100% recyclable containers. So, what exactly do you get when you order a platter? You decide.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Good game, good friends. And now that I use Fix-It-Int, I can tell the ref what I really think.
Fix-It-Int and forget it.
But you're nuts! Before I switched to Fix-It-Int, Jones Peanut Crunchies only looked delicious.
Fix-It-Int and forget it. Fix-It-Int is the strongest holding denture adhesive you can get. It even stands up to the hottest liquids.
With my old adhesive, I'd never make a presentation and drink hot coffee at the same time.
For the strongest hold you can get. Fix-It-Int and forget it.
Hi, I'm Larry Mize. You have a chance to beat the pro and win some big prizes, too. Tune in to Sports Locker with Fred Kalil and Mark Patrick, Sunday at 11:20 on Wish TV, Channel 8.
Police still aren't sure tonight how an Indianapolis man wound up dead in front of his West Side home. Family members noticed 31-year-old Larry Wayne Gregory slumped over the steering wheel of his car. At first they thought that he was asleep, but upon closer inspection they realized he had been shot in the back, and then they called police. Neighbors say they heard an argument and gunshots early this morning. Tonight, investigators are looking for a motive and a suspect.
Police say they're chasing down a number of leads, but have made no arrests in the shooting of off-duty IPD officer Michael Smith. The 30-year-old Smith was moonlighting as a security guard at the Ritz Lounge. At closing time early this morning, Smith was outside of the bar. Witnesses say a man approached Smith from behind and shot him twice at point-blank range. The officer is in stable condition tonight. Doctors say he should fully recover. The search continues, meanwhile, for the gunman, described as black, in his late 20s, 6 feet tall, about 220 pounds. He was wearing a white cowboy hat and black shirt and pants.
Well, nearly 6 weeks after allegedly shooting and wounding a Marion County Sheriff's deputy, Todd Williams is back in Indianapolis to face attempted murder charges. As News 8's Letitia Mile reports, the search for Williams came to an end in a Florida jail.
5-year-old Todd Williams was escorted off the twin-engine plane by Marion County Sheriff's deputies following his extradition from Jacksonville, Florida. Williams had been arrested down south on auto theft charges.
We got a tip that he was possibly in jail in Florida up around Jacksonville, and we just checked around and found him in the Duval County Jail under an assumed name.
Jacksonville police then sent Indianapolis authorities fingerprints of the suspect, who identified himself as Jeffrey McGee. When the prints matched those of Todd Williams, a nearly 6-week search for the suspect came to an end.
Todd Williams was wanted for an armed robbery at Lafayette Square. Sheriff Deputy Mark Albert spotted Williams' car and pulled him over in this Northwest Side neighborhood. It was at that time that Williams allegedly opened fire on the police officer.
Williams fled the scene, launching a massive 2-day manhunt by local, county, and state police.
My fear was just somebody stopping him for, just a traffic offense or anything like that.
And that something that happened to you might happen to that officer as well?
Right.
The 11-year veteran of the department continues healing from the gunshot wounds. He is pleased that Todd Williams has been caught, but admits that morning in May remains a vivid memory.
But I don't think it's going to have any real lasting effect. I'm sure I'll keep reliving it occasionally.
And while Deputy Albert maintains that danger is a part of the job, he does find that he's even more aware that every car he pulls over could be a potential for violence. In Indianapolis, Letitia Mile, Wish TV, News 8.
Deputy Albert thanks everyone, by the way, who sent him well wishes during his recovery and hopes the entire incident will soon be over.
The anti-abortion forces have stalled an effort in Congress to reverse a Supreme Court ruling that keeps doctors in federally funded clinics from discussing abortion. A House subcommittee has indefinitely postponed a vote on legislation to reverse the so-called gag rule after hearing from people who are for it. A number of healthcare professionals at this hearing denounced the Supreme Court decision, saying the ban interferes with doctor-patient relationships.
This is not an argument for or against abortion. It's an argument about how free America's women will be to get information concerning their own health care, and also how free America's physicians and other healthcare professionals will be to provide it.
Republicans say a number of amendments must be considered before voting. Democrats wanted to vote on the bill without amendments, but the delay may change that.
French researchers may have found another use for aspirin. A report published in a British medical journal says small amounts of aspirin taken daily during pregnancy can help some women deliver healthy babies that might otherwise be dangerously small. Doctors note, however, that women not at risk of abnormally small babies should still avoid aspirin during their pregnancy.
This guy, meteorologist Cliff Nicholson, when we come back on your 24-hour news service, and still more volcanic activity in the Philippines. We'll have the latest pictures for you.
Every time I do all the greasy dishes, one pan to go to the dishwasher and stuff dies.
Wait, don't pull the plug.
What? Like this swamp one's going to clean this chicken grease?
Well, did you use the new Dawn or the stuff?
The new Dawn, so?
So, put the pan in. Chicken? All right, spray.
Spray?
Spray.
Whoa, the suds are back.
See? New Dawn still has power to zap grease. That other stuff would have wimped out by now.
That's unbelievable. Now the plug.
Ah, you ate 2 chickens, remember?
New Dawn, we cut it when they can't.
Everyone claims low prices.
Fredder proves it. Highland's price on this GE refrigerator was $899.98, a good price, but over $100 higher than Fredder's everyday price. H.H. Gregg's price on this Magnavox projection TV was $2299.99. That was more than $300 higher than Fredder, proving once again it's always better to shop at Fredder.
Look around America, tell me what is there on the ground, America, seems like everywhere. Every day we flow a little of ourselves. It's time to care, pitch in and share. You know we can help. Don't mess with America. We gotta be aware, we gotta treat her with care. Recycle America. We gotta stop in time, we gotta draw the line today. Recycle America. Don't just throw it all away.
For the first time, hot ash rained on Subic Bay Naval Base in the Philippines, where thousands of Americans have sought refuge from Mount Pinatubo's eruptions. Munitions are stored at the base, but a Pentagon official says it's unlikely that lava could seep through the bunkers. Meanwhile, pilots are being warned not to fly within 70 miles of the volcano because the ash can interfere with the engines of the jets. And the eruptions may not be over. Volcanologists say a few more rumblings are apparently still to come.
Nothing really, nothing really rumbling here in central Indiana, but I guess we have some weather in other parts of the country.
Oh, of course. Well, we have weather here today.
Well,
we had
nice
a couple
weather.
of clouds outside. Wasn't bad at all. I was looking at that volcanic ash, and you know, when Mount St. Helens erupted several years back, at that time I was in Colorado, we got ash in Colorado, and you could sit there and just go like that over your car and get that volcanic ash. The one nice thing about volcanic ash in the atmosphere is it gives beautiful sunrises and sunsets.
Oh, really?
But it's already so beautiful in Indiana, you don't need them much more redder than they are out there. High temperature this afternoon was 88 degrees, and that after a low temperature this morning, a warm one, 66. Now, on the way to work this afternoon, I picked up a couple of raindrops on my car, but it was nothing measurable, at least out at the airport. It's partly cloudy outside right now with a temperature of 75 degrees. 75 degrees is pretty warm, isn't it? That's a sign of things to come. The dew point temperature, 64 degrees. Relative humidity, 69%. The wind's out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour, and the barometer, 30.03. It's currently steady. 24 hours worth of clouds. Watch the old thunderstorms blossom in the afternoon hours from Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, all the way up into the Dakotas. And then over Indiana, it was a pretty clear day. We did have some clouds move in this afternoon and some thunder showers down in the southwest. Beyond that, fairly quiet. Let's go beneath the clouds now. Still, severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for the central and northern plains, with that tornado watch continuing in effect for North Dakota there. Spiritwood, North Dakota, had golf ball size hail today. Tornadoes touched down there as well. No reports of injuries or damage. So far, the heaviest rainfall I've seen, which is not very much, Chattanooga, Tennessee, received about an inch of rain. Here's a close-up satellite of our region. Cloudiness, the rain has since dissipated. The clouds down in the southwest, some over the western as well as central sections of the state, and the clouds will be going away later on this evening. How about some current temperatures throughout the area? In Ohio, mostly 70s, except for up there in Cleveland, 58 degrees. Detroit, only 60. 70s over Indiana right now, 73 in Evansville, and over in St. Louis, Missouri, 77 degrees. The weather scenario. I've been talking about this the past couple of days. Now, the cool air is going to remain to the north, the west, and east of Indiana. This is going to be the deal that will happen this weekend. This moist air is going to continue to flow up, and actually it started today because we've had those warm temperatures and the humidities are starting to rise. And if all goes well by the afternoon hours, that will translate into some showers and thunderstorms for Indiana back into Illinois, scattered in nature. While back to the west, relatively quiet. Here's a cool front. This front will be moving into town by Sunday night, and that'll cool us off after the next, well, 3 warm days ahead. Forecast high temperatures for Friday, 50s and 60s in the northwest, 100s down there in the southwest, desert southwest, 80s and 90s over Indiana. Stay cool tomorrow. Here's the forecast this evening in Indy. Partly cloudy skies tonight. It's going to be a warm one. Low temperature, the upper 60s. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies. hot and humid tomorrow. Afternoon thunderstorms a possibility with a high temperature up near 90 degrees. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy and quite warm. A low temperature near 70. Man, Saturday, continued toasty, scattered afternoon thunderstorms, high temperature again near 90. The extended forecast, Father's Day, is going to be a warm one as well. Very comparable to the past, well, to the next 2 days coming up. And then Monday and Tuesday, low 80s as the front goes by. We will dry out and cool down.
Got just about everything in there except snow, I think. That's
we don't want any of that.
We certainly don't. Thank you, Cliff. Mark, Patrick Sports and the Highlight Zone coming up. We'll show you how the Reds made out in Montreal this evening and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
See you later.
Wish TV has been reporting the top news of the hour every hour on the hour for nearly 1 year now. The advantages to you are clear. You know exactly when and where to find the news. And you know that the station that reports news around the clock is better prepared for every newscast. So now the other stations are turning themselves all around, trying to be more convenient to you. But there's only one station that's there when you need them, when you expect them, day in, day out, 24 hours a day. Wish TV, 24-hour News 8.
Do you have an invention or a new product idea and don't know where to turn? Maybe we can help you. Call TLCI now and we'll send you our free information package. We work with people like you every day. If you have an invention or a new product idea, why wait? Our phone answers 24 hours a day. So call TLCI now for your free information package. In the U.S. or Canada, call toll-free 1-800-468-7200, 24 hours a day.
Call Ask a Nurse 24 hours a day, every day to get free confidential answers to your health care questions. The number to call is 1-800-777-7775.
The Boy Scouts of America have a unique program called Exploring.
Young men and women aged 14 through 20 can join Explorer Post, organized by local business and community organizations.
The posts are developed around the interests of young people involved who end up getting matched with adults who are experts in their field.
So if you want to get hands-on experience in dozens of career areas,
or if you're an adult who wants to share a little bit of yourself with today's youth, call the Boy Scouts of America at 925-1900.
Time for Mark Sports. Lots going on tonight, Mark.
Well, I'll tell you, you said how the Reds made out in Montreal. Well, let's get right to it. They were in La Montreal tonight, looking to improve their 12-15 mark on the road this season. And Lou Piniella, this is how Sweet Lou was making out in Montreal. They were speaking French to each other, he and Bob Davidson, the second base umpire. Chris Hammond singles up the middle after faking the bunt. Hal Morris scores to make it 2-zip Reds. Hammond allowed only 2 hits over 6 innings. Montreal tied to score 2, but Glenn Bragg singles to right. Barry Larkin scores the game winner. The Reds win it 3-2 today. St. Louis at San Diego. Joe Torre looks on as Bob Tewksbury lines one up the middle. Pitcher's doing all the hitting today. Tom Pagnazzi scores for St. Louis. Awful game. 6 of the Cardinals' runs were unearned. The Padres committed 5 errors. McGriff throws it away as Bip Roberts loses it in the sun. Pagnazzi and Jose Oquendo score. 12-1. St. Louis wins it. San Francisco at Chicago. Cubs, an acronym, everybody. Chicago's unbeatable Bulls. George Bell, a solo home run onto Waveland Avenue. Cuts a 3-zip San Francisco lead to 3-2. Then the next batter, Andre Dawson, ties the game at 3 with a solo HR, his 11th of the year. The Cubs go on to win. Dawson throws out the possible game-tying run at the plate. The Cubs 4-3. Philadelphia over Houston 5-4. All 5 Philly runs came without the benefit of a hit. L.A. beat Pittsburgh, and Sid Bream's 2-run home run was the difference as Atlanta beats New York. Chicago was at Texas tonight. Looking on, Jeff Torborg, long night for the Chi Sox. Gary Pettis singles in. Juan Gonzalez to make it 2-zip Rangers in the bottom of the second. Then Julio Franco, a 3-run home run, making it 5-zip the Rangers. 5 unearned runs as they win it tonight, 8-4, their 3rd straight win. The Yankees traveled to the Homer Dome, where they were reading that if the Winds win 12 straight, it's a team record. Lenny Webster singles to left, and Gene Larkin scores. That makes it 4-zip Minnesota early. And this guy has been hot. Chili Davis, probably going to be comeback player of the year. 2 home runs tonight. This one, his 13th. The Twins win it 8-3. On the scoreboard, Kirk Gibson hit his 200th career home run. A 2-run homer in the 9th wins it for Kansas City. Jimmy Key throws a 2-hitter in Toronto's win. And Detroit is leading Seattle 5-3. That one now in the 7th. The Indians were a winner tonight. John Vanderwall, a home run, 4 for 4 and 6 RBI. Tom Byram is the clubhouse leader in round 1 of the U.S. Open. Day of golf interrupted for almost 3 hours by tragedy, finally halted by darkness. You saw earlier on News 8, lightning filled the skies over Minnesota, and before the course could be safely cleared, a spectator was killed when lightning struck the tree he was standing under. 5 others injured. The tournament has provided some outstanding golf, though. Great putt here by Lee Trevino. Last year's champion, Hale Irwin, is 4 strokes off the lead. Nobody likes finishing second, but that experience last year helped motivate the leading individual and new state champion in high school golf. Mike Kemper of Madison, putting on the final hole, nearly sinking a long birdie putt. Kemper with the low score for the 2-day state tournament, the club of Prestwick, 1 under 71 today, finishing 3 under overall. This is Hugh Ryan of Noblesville, a nice chip onto the 17th green, leaving himself with an easy tap in. The Millers finishing second, 3 strokes behind new champs, 2-time defending champ Carmel on the 3-way tie for 3rd, and it's Seymour winning the state tournament. Todd Bollinger sinking a nice putt for par. The Owls finishing second last year, but take home the trophy tonight. Shane Criswell with the best individual round for the Owls at 2 under over 74 today. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, it's this week's edition of the Highlight Zone.
It's the Super Father's Day sale at Value City. Hardy Amy's all silk and silk blend sport coats, not $125 to $150, only $49.99. $240,000 closeout. Baldini tailor dress slacks, not $75, only $19.99. Jonathan Edwards spring suits, not $175, only $69.99. Famous Maker dress shirts, not $17 to $20, only $7.99. Famous Maker all silk ties, not $25, only $6.99. During the Super Father's Day sale at all Value City department stores.
If your nights are getting later and later, chances are the sag on your mattress is getting deeper and deeper. You need a beauty rest. Its unique individually wrapped coils are pre-compressed to give you a comfortable mattress that stays forever firm. Sleep on a beauty rest. And here's something you haven't heard in years.
Good night, hon.
Beauty Rest by Simmons. Forever firm.
America spends a great deal on health care, but millions of people still have serious access problems. The HealthNet Community Health Centers are addressing this critical problem here in Indianapolis by providing quality services on a sliding fee scale. HealthNet's second dinner auction will be held June the 15th at the Westin Hotel. Senator and Mrs. Richard Lugar are honorary co-chairs, and Kay and Tom Binford are general co-chairs. To get your tickets, call 788-9769 and enjoy a wonderful evening for a healthier Indianapolis.
The practice of law requires high ethical standards. Unfortunately, there is a growing number of individuals masquerading as attorneys, not properly trained nor licensed, defrauding Hoosiers of their hard-earned money. Recently, a woman in Franklin, Indiana, lost over $60,000 to a fraudulent practice. Prevent these practices. Call our toll-free hotline to determine whether your attorney is in good standing. Protect yourself. Call 800-432-0713. Rest assured, these individuals will be prosecuted.
Imagine, if you will, submitted for your approval, Fred Kalil in the Highlight Zone.
Good evening. As is our Thursday night custom, it's time to enter another dimension. One of the best, worst, wildest, and weirdest plays of the week. It's time to enter the Highlight Zone. Our Highlight Zone cameras are just back from vacation, and they saw just about everything. Well, almost everything. We'll begin tonight with basketball. The shot of the week, easily this Michael Jordan move. Mesmerizing, huh? On to billiards. Yes, pool. Watch.
That's shot!
Not bad. Hey, come on, get out of here. On to golf, the approach shot of the week.
It looks like a miracle. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
In baseball, let's watch the worst plays of the week in the outfield. Can you believe these guys? Look at Luis Poloni of California, who loses it in the lights.
We all make mistakes.
Now here's the best way to catch flies.
Oh, yeah. Yo, he just almost took his head off.
Lately, some of the best fights have been in baseball, and unfortunately, some of the worst fights have been in the boxing ring. Example, former pro football star Mark Gastineau and Derek Dukes. 12 seconds into the fight Saturday night, and watch. Dukes told the media he took a dive. Boy, that's hard to believe, huh?
Are you cheating us, kid?
I think so. That's brutal. And I'm Fred Kalil with this edition of The Highlight Zone.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Dukes clearly took a really heavy shot there.
Very definitely.
Oh, yeah.
That one's on the up and up. I don't care what you guys say.
We won't say it. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. When we come back, imagine paying just a few bucks for something that's worth a few million. It happened, and we'll have the story coming up.
Ladies, does your family love duck a la ronge, but you just don't have the time?
Hi. Got a microwave?
Yes, but I don't use it. Now I have the Decorator 2000.
Great. Let's go, kids. Come on, let's go. Just cooking a Tony's microwave pizza. Couldn't wait to get home. Say, are we on TV?
Tony's, the pizza you can't wait to eat.
Operators are standing by.
Really?
Oh.
Race driver Phil Frank.
Part of winning is new technology. We know we've got it in this race car. Rhino Lining's got it in their tough polyurethane spray-on lining. Rhino comes in a variety of colors and doesn't reduce cargo space. It protects cargo areas from wear and tear and restores like new. It's the spray-on truck bed lining. Protect your cargo areas with a lining that's Rhino tough.
Call Rhino Linings of Indianapolis at 6-3-RHINO.
Hello, I'm John Denver, speaking for the National Arbor Day Foundation. You know, we're just beginning to realize how fragile our planet is and the kind of risk we take when we destroy a forest or pollute the atmosphere. People are always asking me what can be done to help the environment. Well, there's a simple thing that each of us can do. Plant a tree.
Taste the breeze, it's life inside you. Make a promise to the earth. Plant a tree, now is the time to recognize the tree for all that it is worth.
When we think of trees, we usually think only of what we see and hear. They shade and cool our homes, bring songbirds close by, and they mark the changing seasons. But they also clean the air that we breathe and help keep the atmosphere in balance. You can do something for a healthy environment. Join me and plant a tree.
Time to get a final look at the weather. Here's Cliff.
You know, it took me about 35 minutes to make this map, and since we have a little extra time, I want to show it to you again.
Nice map, you're right.
Oh. That's an A. Cliff. Very good. Very, very good.
Very artsy, Cliff.
Nice arrows, too.
We have some showers in the forecast, by the way, tomorrow afternoon, because you can see them right there on that one. Back to you folks.
Great investment of time. And finally, when it comes to investment, sometimes it's better to be lucky than smart. Last year, a Philadelphia man paid $4 for a painting of a country scene. Stuffed inside the frame was this, a first printing of the Declaration of Independence. One of about 200 copies printed back on July 4th of 1776. Only 24 are still known to exist. Well, today the document was on the auction block at Sotheby's, and guess what it brought? Any guesses here?
$4 million.
2.42?
$2.42 million. Mark Patrick wins the sombrero. Freedom has its price.
Boy, that's great.
We'll throw in a pinata for that, too. That's great.
That's our news this evening. I'm Debbie Knox.
I'm Ken Owen. We'll see you back here again tomorrow night. Until then, have yourself a great night. Thanks for joining us.